Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone.
Chased down by Beal in the corner for three, gets fouled and hits.
Welcome to DC.
Walker tied him out.
You know where you're at, the USA Cup. You're taking it slightly, I'm taking it slightly. Now how you gon' act, but we gon' be right back. Well, we gon' be right here, we gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Abdullah coming at you with another video for the channel, and welcome back to the DMV Sports Zone. And in today, guys, we have another special guest for the channel, Michael Quattromani. I pronounced that hopefully right.
Yep.
Michael, can you please introduce yourself to the few people that don't know who you are?
Well, as Abdullah said, my name is Michael. I am the host of the Tailgate podcast, which is on the app Callin. I've had a TikTok for about 2 years now, or about a year and a half. Have the podcast for over 2 years. I talk mainly about football, but I do a little bit of basketball here and there. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. I got Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll plug that in the description below.
I
But
appreciate it.
of course, yeah. Let's talk about it. Super Bowl 56, Bengals versus Rams. Who knew coming into this year?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to tell me, 8 months ago or 5 months ago that the Bengals and the Rams, I mean, the Rams were pretty self-explanatory, but the fact the Bengals were not only able to win their division, but get into the Super Bowl, I mean, that's crazy. Especially because, I think before the season, a lot of people thought, okay, the Rams are definitely going to be contenders. They're probably going to be a very good team. But then over the course of the season, there were a lot of doubters, a lot of people claiming they were overrated. So to see both of them in the Super Bowl is pretty surprising, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm. And, Joe Shiesty, I think we got to start with him, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow, he's a fan favorite, of course. He's a really likable guy. And it's nice to see, a young guy lead a franchise that's been kind of a loser for its entirety. So, to see a likable guy with a great personality and obviously the supporting cast of Jamar Chase and obviously they have a lengthy history, to see those two guys, flourish in Cincinnati of all places is a pretty fun thing to watch.
Yeah, and what is also interesting before we get into the game, back-to-back home games in Super Bowl. I mean, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, but, honestly, it seems like back-to-back years, it's not going to be that big of a deal, though, because last year you had COVID, not a lot of fans this year. Yeah. I mean, the Rams fan base is...
Yeah, there is no Rams fan base.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so,
I think the first matchup or everything that we want to look at from a fan standpoint is which team will have more QB pressures from their opposing QB. What do you think?
I think that, if you just go off offensive line, the Bengals offensive line is horrendous. So I think the Rams are just going to have, Aaron Donald especially, is going to have an absolute field day getting to Joe Burrow. And I'm really interested because I feel like that's kind of like the outlier between the two teams. Honestly, the Bengals defense over the past month or so has been a lockdown defense. So I think the defense is kind of a wash. I think they're both really good. Offensively, I'd probably give the edge to the Rams, but again, it's really close. Joe Burrow's been playing a Pro Bowl level, over the past few weeks or so, really just past year, if we're being honest. So yeah, I think that it comes down to coaching and offensive line, and I give them both to the Rams because that offensive line's a lot better, and that pass rush has been proven to be able to, completely shut down games. So I'm really interested to see if what the Bengals are going to do to obviously somehow, suppress the pass rush, because if they can't, this game will be a blowout quickly.
You talked about it. Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jonah Williams, I'm pretty sure he's been struggling the past couple of games, but I got to say Joe Burrow with his escapability, we just got to see. And, if we talk about the Rams defense, they also have the best corner in the game. No debate there. Jalen Ramsey.
Easily.
So it's going to be tough, honestly. I think he'll face more pressure compared to Matt Stafford. But if we look at it from the Bengals defensive line, Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, Matthew Stafford, when he's under pressure, he'll make those risky throws.
Yeah, he's not afraid to do that. I think when you have a guy like Cooper Kupp, it makes your life a lot easier. So the Bengals secondary is good. I wouldn't say it's, near the top of the league or maybe even not top 10, but they're going to have their hands full with Cooper Kupp. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop him. And then you throw in Odell, who's been fourth in PFF over the course of the playoffs. So I mean, it's a lot of guys you have to account for in that receiving core, and I don't know if the Bengals can really do it. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to see.
And you talked about the Bengals offense, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Samaje P. Ryan, Joe Mixon, and I think CJ Uzama is playing even though he dealt with that injury.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they face off against that Rams defense.
I mean, the Rams defense isn't as advertised. They were a little bit worse than, a lot worse than they were last year. I think they were 15th at opponent points per game over the regular season. In the defense, I mean, they got the job done. I mean, they held the Bucs to 3 points in the first half, and then obviously the Bucs went on that historic run in the second half. But I mean, the defense has kind of been bend but don't break. They've done what they can. They've done what they've needed in order to make sure that the Rams offense will have enough to get to the next round. But I don't know. I mean, it's a different task now. I mean, you have an offense that has really been clicking and firing on all cylinders over the past month, or really earlier. I mean, over the end of the season, they went into Arrowhead, was able to beat the Chiefs. I mean, they've been hot for a long time, and they have the most confidence. I mean, you would think that a guy in his second season, never been even in the playoffs, the fact that he's in the Super Bowl, I mean, you would think, okay, he's going to get nerves, but I mean, he's come to the task and he's been flourishing, really. And so, not mentioning the
fact that coming off a gruesome injury as well.
Yeah. I mean, he has all the confidence, and I mean, it's really fun. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for the Bengals in this game.
But another matchup that I would like to see when it comes to the Bengals offense, Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. We saw how Jalen Ramsey did against Mike Evans. Mike Evans got, his plays here and there. But Jamar Chase, he's a yak monster. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
I mean, I think Ramsey he's definitely a lockdown corner. He's the best corner in the league. I mean, he has top 10 all-time potential. I mean, he's just that good. So that's probably the matchup that I'm looking forward to the most. I would say it's probably that, and then Aaron Donald versus the Bengals offensive line, because that just interests me more than I think it's gonna be fun to watch, because I just can't wait to see what kind of sets and formations the Bengals are going to try to come out of, and to see how they're going to account for Aaron Donald, because that's like I said, that's a tall task. So yeah, I know that Bengals and that Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey matchup is gonna be a lot of fun. I think that Jamar Chase is gonna be not a non-factor, but I think that he'll be held to under 60 receiving yards, under 55 receiving yards. I think we're going to see a 4-catch for 40-yard game out of him. I don't think we're going to see a lot, because I think that the Rams are going to do everything they can to, try to take him out of the game, because he does have that, superstar game-breaking ability where he can just run away with it. I mean, we saw him in that Chiefs game. He had about 260 yards and 3 touchdowns, I want to say. I mean, if he's not playing, the Bengals, I mean, that's not even a 2-score game. The Bengals just losing that game. So the fact that Jamar Chase was just able to take over really cemented the Bengals' ability to win. So
as a rookie,
think the Rams are going to do exactly, which is even crazier. So the Rams are going to do everything they can to try to take him out. And then I think they're just going to be willing to eat T. Higgins' yards. I think T. Higgins might have a big game, because I think the Rams are just going to be able to say, you know what, we're going to take away Jamar Chase, try to beat us with T. Higgins. And I don't know if the Bengals are going to be able to do that.
No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But let's go on to the coaching matchup. I think this has to be the youngest coaching matchup in Super Bowl history, at 36 and 38.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact stat. I mean, I don't want to be misquoted, so I would assume it is, because those are two very young coaches. But yeah, I will say I think that Sean McVay is a fantastic coach. I think he was really underrated over the course of the season, because people just were forgetting how good he is. But I think in terms of Zach Taylor, I'm not completely sold on him. I think he just has a really good team. I think it's more about the team than it is him. Whereas for the Rams, I think not only do they have a fantastic roster, but even in the past when their roster wasn't what it is today, Sean McVay was still able to, he took Jared Goff to the Super Bowl. That's ridiculously impressive. So I think he deserves all the respect in the world. Zach Taylor, I'm not saying he doesn't need respect, just saying I think that he's going to be on a longer leash after this season, because it's he took the Bengals to the Super Bowl in 2021. But again, I just that doesn't sell it to me. I still think that he needs to prove that he can be a a coach for a long time. I don't think 1 year is going to do it. Last year, people were calling for his job, and I don't see why this year is that big of a difference. He didn't really change a whole lot. I know that Jamar Chase is a rookie, but he's been on a pretty restricted route tree. They haven't really unleashed him yet. So again, like I don't know. I'm not sold on him. It's more of a gut feeling, if I'm being honest.
But I think I think one thing that we got to give to Zach Taylor is that the Bengals are, even though they're so young, the second least penalized team in the league. One thing
That's
that
a very good point.
I didn't bring up or even thought about coming into this game.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point because I mean that's coaching. That's all coaching. That's all fundamentals. That's all teaching, the right thing to your players. That's all the respect in the world to that because that's a very crucial thing to have in the playoffs and Super Bowl rather. I think the referees call the second most penalties out of any referee crew. So if you can be disciplined, that could be the difference maker in this game. Honestly, it could be the penalties. It's something that kind of flies under the radar a lot of times because you don't think that penalties can decide the game. But I mean, there were a lot of things that went wrong for the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl, but I mean, they were penalized a lot in that game. And that's what kind of took them out of it, if I'm being honest, because it's like it's 2nd and 8, you get a first down and then, it's a hold. So then now it's 2nd and 18. I mean, that momentum shift in a game where they were already down by double digits. I mean, that's the difference, in these games where you try to get a big play, you hadn't in a while, and then you finally do, but it gets taken back by penalty. I mean, in the Super Bowl, that momentum is everything. So if the Bengals are able to be more disciplined than the Rams, that could be huge for them in order to win this game.
I agree. So, the Battle of the Nines, let me ask you, which team will have more big plays?
It's got to be the Bengals. It has to be. I think that I wouldn't say they're big play dependent because I think a lot of people kind of overrate their highlight reel. I think this team is a pretty gritty team. I mean, they can get those 5, 6, 7 yard gains. They can just I should be saying they should get those like 8, 9, 10, 11 play touchdown drives where they're going the length of the field, but they're taking their time and they're killing the clock. I mean, look at the AFC Championship game. They took what? I think it was 14 minutes off the clock and 2 drives in the second half. I mean, it was ridiculous. The fact they were able to like methodically march down the field and make sure that Patrick Mahomes doesn't touch the ball. I mean, that's coach's dream of being able to do that. So the fact that Zach Taylor, again, kudos to him. The fact that Zach Taylor was able to do that is extremely, extremely impressive. And I think, the Rams are another team where it's not indicative of last week or 2 weeks ago to the Bucs because they gave up that big lead, but the Rams do not give up big leads. I'm pretty sure Sean McVay has only lost once in his entire career after leading at halftime. And it's a stat that kind of goes.
That was
the
the 49ers game, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, the 49ers game, week 17 is the only time where he lost. Or week 18, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I think, if you're able to keep the ball in Matt Stafford's hands, or if you're able to, stop them offensively and you can just let your offense kind of get into a rhythm. I mean, we saw that's where Joe Burrow flourishes the most, when he's able to just kind of, get into his own, just kind of get the ball to his playmakers, get Joe Mixon involved in the run game. I mean, that's going to be the recipe for the Bengals in order to win this game.
No, I agree with that. So, scoring predictions and Super Bowl MVP, what you got?
So I haven't even put out like an official prediction myself yet, if I'm being honest, because like not that I haven't thought about it, but like I just don't want to put one out. If I'm being honest, I think it could really go either way. This is going to be a very good game. But what I will say is like in that Bengals Titans game, right? Everybody thought it was going to be a high scoring game because both defenses are kind of mediocre and both offenses are fantastic. And then the Bengals Chiefs. I mean, come on. Everybody thought that was going to be like 30 plus points for each team. We thought that was going to be a high scoring game. It wasn't. So I'm going to say the same thing here. I think the Bengals are really going to try to make this a both teams in the 20s type score. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. Right now, I think I'm going to say 24-21 Bengals. I think it's going to be close, but I bet against the Bengals in the divisional. They proved me wrong. I bet against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. They proved me wrong. So I don't want to be wrong 3 times with this team. I think they're going to win it. I think they're just that good. I think Joe Burrow is, sure, the Rams have the better offensive line. They have the better receivers. They have the better run game. Or I guess offense as a whole. They have the better defense, better coaching. Like they have the better in every facet. But it's just for some reason, the Bengals to me they're just sticking out, and I'm not going to bet against them. Everything's going for them right now. This Cinderella run has been nothing short of remarkable, and I think they have a real shot to win this thing. I'm picking them. It's going to be close, so I only have by 3 points, but I have them win this one. It's Super Bowl MVP. Oh God. I think it'd be bold to not give it to Joe Burrow. I think with everything he's done this year, especially in the playoffs and all the media attention he's been getting, I think regardless of what he does, I think he gets Super Bowl MVP. Again, like I feel like if Jamar Chase would probably be my second pick, but again, I'm going to stick to what I said earlier. I think he gets shut down by Ramsey. I don't think, like, if we want to go like fantasy points, because I think that's kind of the best metric I want to kind of use right now, I think he's held under 10 points. Like, I don't think he has a big game. I really don't. I think Ramsey is going to really step up to the task as he had all season, except for last week to Mike Evans. But I think he's going to step up to the task, and I think the Bengals are going to find other ways to move the offense.
I agree, man. It's going to be interesting to see how Jamar Chase does. I'm rooting for the Bengals just because, Joe Burrow, but I really think the Rams are going to win. My score prediction, 27-23, no more than 30. Okay. And my Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp. I feel like he's going to have a field day. I don't know, just because, I feel like the Rams will put too much attention on OBJ, and Cooper Kupp, he just finds a way to get open. So.
Yeah, no word can really describe what he is. Honestly, because he's not a traditional receiver in the sense where he doesn't play on the outside. Okay, not that. He's not a traditional top 10 receiver in the sense where he's not an outside guy. He doesn't create, these spectacular catches, and he's not Mr. Highlight Reel or anything. He just gets it done. He just gets catches. He's very good after the catches, we all know. So yeah, he's fun to watch. But yeah, I like that prediction. I think that's very possible, and I think if they do win, Cooper Kupp's got to be the MVP of the game.
So let me ask you this last question. This has been a heated topic for the past couple weeks. Is Cooper Kupp top 3 in his position?
No, I don't think he is. So I was a huge advocate for him being top 10. I don't know why. For some reason, I'd say probably a month, 2 months ago, people were just like literally leaving him out of the top 15. Which I thought was crazy. I'm like, what? I'm like, you can maybe leave him out of the top 5, but to leave him out of the top, not even just 10, top 15, I'm like, what? Like, what? What's going on? So I was a very big advocate for him being top 10. I have him at number 5. I have Adams 1, Jefferson 2, Hill 3, Diggs 4, and I have him at 5. I think I would have Jamar Chase at 6. And then probably Hopkins at 7. Again, like Hopkins, the talent's undeniable. Might be top 3 in talent, but we just haven't seen it on the field last year. So I can't, for the time being. He'll probably get back into the top 5 next year, but I'm just saying for the time being, I can't put him as a top 5 receiver. Yeah, no, I don't think he's top 3. He's not top 3 because you can't tell me with a straight face that you'd rather have him over Tyreek Hill or over Justin Jefferson or over obviously Devontae Adams. But I think top 5 is definitely a fair place for. I think number 5 is a fair place for him. Anywhere like 5 to 7.
That's pretty good. That's good. So
yeah, what about you? Where do you have him?
Honestly, originally I had him top 7, but I'm putting him in that 4 and 5 range. I'm leaning towards 5.
That's fair. Yeah.
But
I could see him over Diggs. But like that'd be like the peak. I can't put him any higher than over Diggs.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think that's what I would do. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks again, Michael, for taking the time out of your day to help me with this preview. Before we go, you can just plug in everything you want again, just because
I'm good. I would just say download the call-in app, do that, and then subscribe to the Tailgate podcast. It's on my Twitter. I think it's just at Tailgate Pod 1. I want to say I don't know. But yeah, follow both of those, and I appreciate it.
I'll definitely be down below. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.